Welcome to Krakow in Poland for the second round of the 2022 ICF Canoe Slalom World Cup. It's finals time, and we're here on the Vistula River. We've had 200 athletes from 32 nations gathered here racing it out, and we're down to the final 10 competitors in this women's kayak and men's kayak final to take the honours here in this second round of the World Cup season. Of course, designers have set 23 gate course and a particular technical challenge, gate 10 to 11 and at the bottom section. And this course, very physical. It's all about hanging on in there, delivering it all the way down the course as the athletes go for gold. Perfect weather conditions, a very warm and sunny day here in Krakow. No wind at all, and 6 upstream gates, the rest downstream gates, 23 gates set by our course designers. And here is the schedule. The women's kayak final up very shortly, and that will be followed by the men's kayak final. But let's just have a bit of an insight from one of our pros on the circuit.
I'm on the USA Canoe National Team, and I competed in the Tokyo Olympics. One of my favorite techniques for paddling is to put in a backstroke, where you put the paddle completely behind you to turn the boat. It's really great when you have a really big turn to make, or you have an upstream that's really deep inside an eddy, because it's really powerful. You use your core and your arms to turn. I hope that you will get into kayak and try it sometime.
Well, there's a bit of insight there from AV Leadpath, and who unfortunately didn't make it through into the final, 23rd in the semi-final. But here we are with the women's kayak competition. Myself, Andy Maddock, I will steer you through this competition, and I'm delighted to say joining me in the booth again, it is Sofia Reynoso of the Mexican team. So welcome to you, and we look forward to this final unfolding.
Thank you so much. Yeah, super excited to be here. Let's see what these girls can do in the final.
So here is the start list. The athletes racing in reverse order of the semi-final performance. So Klaudia Zwolinska goes last for Poland. She was fastest in the semi-final. 3 French boats in this final. 2 Czech boats, and well, some big names here. And well, any favourites?
Yeah, I have my favourites, I think. A bit of a secret? No. Anna Satila, I hope, and Victoria Us, I'm in for them too. And Emma Wito.
So there we see some statistics as well from the penalties in the semi-finals, just giving an indication, but we certainly saw penalties so significant in the semi-final. And here we have our first competitor in this women's kayak final. We're live from Krakow in Poland, and Victoria Us of the Ukraine sets off to set the time that everybody else has to chase. Well, Victoria is a 2-time World Cup medalist on the circuit. 2019, 2020 she won medals, so very capable of getting on the podium today here on this course. And she's a very physical paddler as well, and that favours this course. Relatively flat, the course, and not so much technical demand this course.
Yeah, it looks like we've seen in the semi-finals, like it's really important to be used in the water, but it's also super important to keep pushing the boat and gliding forward so that you keep that speed throughout your whole run.
Well, very nicely done through gate 10 to 11 for Victoria Us, really working with the white water and keeping the momentum on the boat. That's so critical on this sticky, not so fast flowing white water here. Now through 15. Course designers have set this course, and it tightens up as the athletes get down the course, particularly coming up after this exit of the upstream gate 17 where Victoria is now. We've got a tight little offset downstream sequence, and so easy to pick up a penalty when you're fatigued, but no problem there for Victoria Urs, and it's looking like a good time.
Yeah, it's looking like a good time. We'll see if it's enough for a final. Those offsets we've seen that you need to have a space in between them to not gain any penalties.
Well, 99.05. Victoria Urs stops the clock in this women's kayak final. And, well, we'll have to wait and see if that is enough. The fastest raw time on the semi-final was 94 seconds. So a little bit down on that, but very much in the mix.
Yeah, I think she had a good run. Maybe she lost a couple seconds here and there.
Well, you can see just how tight the athletes have to get to the poles in order to really find those fractions of a second. Those margins are what are going to make the difference between a podium and missing out. But great to see Victoria Urs in her first final of the World Cup season, 13th last weekend in Prague. And now, well, tops the leaderboard, but first one down in this 10-boat final.
Yeah.
Next to start for Slovenia, Ida Novak. And, well, 28 years old and very experienced paddler, and was very, very strong in the semi-final. She went early off. She had to qualify through in the heats on the second run, but she showed her form and she set off well.
Yeah, I think she had a really good semi-final. She was in the middle of every gate, like really safe, and she was clean. Looks like she's picked up now 2 penalties. She's a bit tighter on the poles, I think, which is making her touch the poles. I think she's risking a little bit more since it's a final.
Yeah, she's gone out in an explosive start, but paid the price on those 2 touches, and she's up on the split time in terms of raw time, but there's no escaping the fact that 4 seconds of penalties will be expensive. Nicely done. Does the exit of 14 very tight indeed. Works hard to get across for 15. Now this move here, you have to drop over down 16 into the hole, and most importantly, keep your bows down, keep your weight on the front of the boat.
Yeah, she dropped a little bit her edge, and that made her come out of the hole a little bit sooner than she wanted, I think.
So as soon as you get on the back of the blade leaning back, then the bows slip away and you don't get as high on 17 as you'd like. But nicely through the downstream tricky sequence, 19, 20, 21, tight into the upstream gate. But those 4 seconds of penalties are what are going to make the real difference. Ida Novak of Slovenia now crosses the line. 104.52, including 4 seconds of penalty, and into second place. There's our race leader, Victoria Urs of Ukraine. 99.05. So we're into the last 8 now in this women's kayak final here. And next to start for France, it is Romain Prigent, World Championship silver medalist at under 23 level last season. And, well, into the final for the first time this season in the World Cup Series. So already a good boost to the season. What can she do on this run?
Yeah, she was really good on the semi-final until the last couple gates. I think it looked like she was unhappy with her run, even though it was good enough for the final. So we'll see if she can pull off those last gates, because she's super strong on these top gates as if now.
Well, look at that, 1.27 the advantage on the top, and she's done a nice run in from 10 to 11, which won't be included in that at the moment. So she has the opportunity to expand the advantage. Now comes into the upstream gate 14. Nicely done. There's a few people maybe taking some quite high risks on the upstream gate 14. No such problem there. Romain Prigent on course now through 16. This is the critical move. Washed off the back. She's going to have to work hard to get to 17. It's not a disaster, but there's time slipping away. 2.5 seconds the advantage, so she has extended that, but it shows there is still time in this run. Nicely through.
Nice, yeah.
So final upstream gate, gate 22, super tight in and out. And surely we're looking at the new race lead time. Romain Prigent sets off for the finish line. She's going to stop the clock, 96.71. And, well, she's happy, and so she should be. A clean run. And, well, whether that'll be good enough for the podium, we'll have to wait and see. But I would say it's going to challenge for a top 5.
Definitely, I agree. It was a really good run. It was clean. She kept the boat gliding. She was safe in the moves, but still going really fast.
So 3 boats down, next to start. Emma Vuitton of France, the second of 3 French boats in this World Cup final. And already taking risks at the top of the course, but was that a touch on the exit?
Yeah, that was a touch. It's a bummer, she was just pretty tight. It looks like she's a bit moving quite fast for the final.
Yeah, and of course, so she won 2 World Championship and a European Championship medal at junior level last season. So still very young and making her debut on this senior circuit. First senior World Cup final. And has very much loosened up a little bit after the top. She looked a bit tight on the top few gates.
Yeah, I could agree. She looked a bit more tense. I think she's paddling better now. She's more relaxed. You can see you have the old Emma back paddling here.
So she has got that 2-second penalty, which was reflected in that slower split time at the top.
Super nice here on this up. Really well moved on that hole.
Yes, and that was where we saw a little bit of time from Romain Prigent, our current race leader. Although she is in the race lead, that's where she left a bit out there. So now Vuitton of France very tight into 22. Time to beat is 96.71. It's going to be close.
Yeah, coming down.
And it is just inside by 1/100th of a second. Emma Vuitton of France takes the race lead, and it was all down to the bottom section there and that middle section.
Yeah, definitely. I think she made that touch, and she must have been like, I gotta go, I gotta loosen up, because it looked like she completely changed her moves and made it happen.
So Romain Prigent leads for France ahead of Victoria Urs, and now Emma Vuitton has been given a 50-second penalty, and I suspect that must be on gate 14.
Yeah, it looked pretty tight there.
Well, each of the gates are judged by judges on the bank, but also the video review judges have a number of different angles to look at. And, well, unfortunately, not to be today. So Romain Prigent gets to breathe again. She is our race leader after 4 boats down the course, but 6 boats still to come. Now on course for Brazil, it is Ana Chatila. And, well, she's a multiple junior under-23 World Championship medalist. But already a penalty on gate 2.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even see that. That was a very small touch.
But we can expect Anna to come flying out of the blocks here and really attack this course nicely through 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah. And you never, oh, another touch. I was gonna say, with one touch, you never know. We've seen it last week with Jessica and Emma without the 50, but 2 touches, 4 seconds. It's still super fast through these moves.
Yeah, she's really finding the lines, isn't she? Like 10 to 11 was very quick, but 4 seconds of penalties is gonna make it very difficult to challenge the podium today. But Anna is doing absolutely what's required. It is about focusing on those gates still to come, not dwelling on the mistakes at the top of the course, and looking to just make sure she can optimize her run.
Yeah, she's flawless through here. Her style of paddling is very, very unique, like risky, explosive, aggressive, and it's really fun to watch her, especially in finals.
Well, the gap hasn't grown, really. It's stabilized, and she's showing her pace, but that obviously includes 4 seconds of penalties. Nicely through the tricky technical section, 19, 20, 21. And then now a sprint to the finish. It's going to be outside the race lead time because of those 4 seconds of penalties, but into 3rd place. And a quick time. That would have been 97.02 is the raw time. And that would have been good enough for 2nd place, but penalties once again significant.
Very significant penalties, yeah. Damn.
So Romain Prigent leads the way at the halfway point for France, ahead of Victoria Urs and Ana Chatila.
Oh yeah.
Romain, that was a really impressive run. You must be happy with it.
Yeah, I'm very happy with my run. Just I had a little mistakes at the end, but it was good. It's the best one I did this weekend, so I'm happy.
Yeah, and do you think it's a strong enough time for a medal?
For a medal, I don't know. There is still strong women to go, so I'll wait. But it's a good time, and I can't do anything about it now. So.
Except cross your fingers. Good luck. Good luck.
That's it. Thank you.
Well, great to see our race leader there, Romain Prigent, and 96.71. And yes, I think it's definitely good enough for a top 5. But whether it'll stand the test of time and get a podium, we'll have to wait and see. There's some big names still to come. They're the fastest 5 boats from the semi-finals. And well, next up will be one of the big names, the big stories of last weekend, Teresa Fisarova of the Czech Republic. But here are the results at the halfway point in this women's kayak final. There we have it, 96.71. That's the time to beat to take gold here in Krakow. Victoria Urs 2nd for Ukraine, Ana Chatila 3rd for Brazil. French team eagerly watching to see if they've done enough. 2 French boats down, still 1 to go in this women's kayak final here in the sunshine in Krakow. So next to start, Teresa Fisarova of the Czech Republic. She won 2 gold medals last weekend in the first World Cup of the season. That was in the women's canoe and the kayak extreme. She was 5th in the final in this women's kayak event. I'm sure she will be a contender.
Yeah, she's a strong paddler. She has everything. She knows what to do. So let's wait what she can put down in this run. Let's wait to see.
Great to see the just the final mental rehearsal there, just going through the gates before she sets off on this final run. Here she is, Teresa Fisarova, goes for gold here in Krakow, and already really starting to attack the course.
Yeah, she's really attacking it, but still very in the middle of the gates, which is super important in this course, we've seen.
Nicely through 5, 6, and 7. Now into the upstream gate 8, and great does it on the sweep. And, well, then nothing to choose between her and race leader Prigent of France as she comes into the upstream gate 11. Well, that looked good.
Yeah, that looked fast. That upstream gate looked good. Fast exit out of there.
So we know that Romain Prigent, our race leader, left a little bit out there on this move, 15, 16, 17, particularly the run from 16 into the 17 upstream. So
yeah.
Fisarova now approaching gate 16. Gets a little bit held, has to work hard, but she's tight on the upstream. Surely she is going to be our virtual race leader by 2.5 seconds. Wow, this is a good run coming together. After such a big weekend last weekend, 2 gold medals and a 5th place. And what a start to her World Cup campaign. And momentum's so important in this sport, but she's going to cross the line, surely as our race leader. Fastest time of the day, 93.87, and into the race lead.
Yeah, that was a really fast time.
Well, you can hear the cheers there, and those still to start will know they've got to go quicker than the semi-finals if they want to take gold here.
Yeah, that was a really good run.
There is our current race leader, Teresa Fisarova of the Czech Republic, leading ahead of Romain Prigent and Victoria Us. Next on course, Camille Prigent of France, under-23 world champion, and of course a bronze medalist last weekend in Prague at the first World Cup of the season.
Yeah, very strong paddler as well.
So again, looking very tidy on the top, attacking the course. The sequence here, gate 9, 10, 11. This is the first of the critical tests. She's up on the first split, but this is where you can win or lose the race. And very nice from Camille.
Yeah, very nice. She still served the hole.
So now this is the sprint section leading into the upstream 14. This is where the lactic acid will start to be building up in the arms, the fatigue setting in, and so important to keep the concentration and stick to the plan.
Yeah, to keep focus and to keep really awake for these gates, since it's super important to be on top of them.
So a little bit deeper than she would have liked there. Camille has to go in on the far side, and you can see that is reflected on the split. 1.5 seconds down on Fisarova of the Czech Republic as she comes down through the three gates to go now. The final upstream gate, gate 22. There is a review.
Time.
There's a review going on gate 11 and 19. It's going to be just outside, but into second place for Camille Prigent of France. And no penalties showing at the moment, but that result still provisional, just for completion of a review. But Teresa Fisarova, there she is, the race leader for the Czech Republic, holds on 93.87 ahead of Camille Prigent and Romain Prigent. So 3 boats still to go in this women's kayak final, live from Krakow in Poland. Next to start for the Czech Republic, Amelie Hilgertova, who we know is very fast, and in particular, very fast on this course. She won an under-23 world title on this course in Krakow. So very much, not only do we know she's quick, but she has positive experiences here. Which
Yeah, exactly, which
helps to the confidence, doesn't it?
of course, yeah. I think it helps you have good feelings in the water already built up and ready to get that fire out in a final.
So in touch on the top split, 0.26 down. No dramas at this stage.
So very fast here.
Oh yes, able to almost do it on the back of the blade through 11. And yeah, she will surely have closed the deficit down with that. So this sprint section between gate 13 and 14, just an opportunity to build up a bit of lactic acid, and then you've got to refocus through in this technical section, 15, 16, 17 in particular.
Yeah, she did this offsets really well on the semi-final. So I think she knows how to do them.
Very nice indeed.
Yeah.
Surely that's going to be up on the split. Only just, but she has turned a deficit into an advantage. So now the most technical part of the course to go.
Looking pretty fast.
Amelie Hilgertova, 1 gate to go. She's taken the tight line on the exit. She sneaks under the last gate. 93.87 to beat. It's going to be outside of that, but only just into second place. So it is a Czech Republic 1-2 at the moment with 2 boats to go. Teresa Fisarova still leads ahead of Amelie Hilgertova, and then Romain Prigent leading the way for France in 3rd place. And just an update, Camille Prigent was awarded a 2-second penalty on her run.
Ah, there we go.
So here we have the winner from the first World Cup of the season, the defending overall World Cup champion on course, Jessica Fox of Australia. Certainly got her World Cup campaign off to a great start, and that's a quick upstream on 3.
Yeah, that was a quick upstream. Just having a very good offsets as well.
She's a 3-time Olympic medalist, a 3-time world champion. and reigning World Cup champion, and 3 times in a row at the moment. 1.5 seconds the advantage on the top of the course. Now, this is a critical section. Not the fastest, but very tidy indeed.
Yeah, very good. She's coming up to this sprint to get to that next stop, which we've seen causes some 50, so she needs to be safe. There we go.
She is indeed. She was almost a little early into it, but no problems there for Jessica Fox of Australia, the world #1, coming down the course. Now, into 16. She's got to get the weight on the front, get tight into the upstream.
Nice.
17, and that's very nicely done, and has extended the advantage. 2.26. This is our virtual race leader through the tricky offset sequence. Just 2 gates to go now.
Always unreal to watch Jess on a final. She can always put down some amazing paddle strokes, and yeah.
Wow, into the race lead. 91.29. Well done, Jessica. You are into the race lead. 91.29. Is anyone going to beat that?
It is fast, very fast. I don't know. That was an amazing run to watch.
Fox leads ahead of Fisarova and Hilgertova with just 1 boat to go. One boat to go in this women's kayak final, World Cup 2 in Krakow. And it is from the home country, Poland. Klaudia Swalinska goes for gold and takes an early penalty on gate 2. She was the fastest in the semi-finals by quite a margin, but Jessica Fox has just delivered one of her vintage runs.
Yes, she has.
So we'll get to see an early indication of how Klaudia stacks up on the split. 2.23 down, so that penalty, most of the deficit. And very nice from 10 to 11.
Yeah.
So Klaudia Swalinska, under-23 European champion of 2021. 5th at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Now under pressure here in front of a home crowd here in Poland. And how much she would like to be on the top step of the podium. Well, I think that might have slipped away with that penalty on gate 2, but still a contender for a place on the podium.
Yes, of course. As she comes into these offsets, she did them super fast last time. I think she gained time here, so we'll see. Yeah, really good again. Really fast through them.
Well, 2.9 the deficit, and well, for a place on the podium, you've got to be inside 94.26. This is going to be very, very tight, and I think it might just be enough.
Oh.
No, just outside.
Just outside, damn.
95.87 for Klaudia Swalinska of Poland. And, well, that means that Jessica Fox takes the win for Australia, ahead of Teresa Fisarova of the Czech Republic and Amalie Hilgertova of the Czech Republic. Let's just have a look. This is the gate 8 that was being reviewed for Klaudia.
Oh, no, it's the hair. Almost looks like it.
It's a good example of the different angles that the video review judges have to be able to assess whether the penalties are awarded. Here, a third angle. well, super tight. You could barely run a bit of paper between the helmet and the pole.
A very unreal final. Jessica can always put a little more down, which is amazing to watch.
Yeah, so disappointment there just outside the podium. The fourth place for Klaudia Zielinska.
Well, Jess Fox, here we are again. Was that a grimace I saw at the end of that run?
I'm charging to the finish and giving it everything. So yeah, probably it's not always the most photogenic way to finish, but it's just about getting to the finish.
But I guess it just underlines how much of an effort you put into that and how hard it was.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by your time? I mean, it was electric.
Yeah, I was really pleased with that time. I think I tried to attack it everywhere and really fix the mistakes that I made in the semi-final, and I knew that there was time to gain on that bottom section. So yeah, really pleased to take the win today.
And you must be really happy with where you are at the moment with your K1 paddling.
Yeah, I think, you know, you never know where you are at the start of a season when you haven't raced for a while. And in Australia, we had a lot of flat water. We didn't get much white water time this summer. So, you know, to come out here and to feel physically good and to put down some good runs, I'm really pleased.
All right, congratulations, Jess. 2 from 2, well done.
Thank you.
Well, great to see there. Jessica Fox, back-to-back winner here in Krakow to add to that win in Prague. And here is the confirmation of the result. Czech Republic gets silver and bronze, and Fisarova really making a name for herself across this World Cup series. And unfortunately, the home crowd just miss out on a medal. But respectable run there for Klaudia Zielinska of Poland. Of course, that wraps up the women's kayak final. But we will have the men's kayak final up very shortly, so don't go away. So here are the World Cup standings after 2 races in the 5-race series, and Jessica Fox dominant at the top ahead of Teresa Fisarova and Camille Prigent as we go into the next race next weekend in Tarzen in Slovenia. And of course you can follow that live at Planet Canoe.
On the lower section of the course, you have a sequence with 5 downstream gates that are very close from each other and from left and right. So for athletes, it will be difficult to choose if they go straight, but with risk of penalties because of the blade or because they must neck the gates, or if they go more on a snaky line, but losing time. So we can expect to see differences there.
So it's men's kayak final time here in Krakow in Poland. We've narrowed the field from 65 down to 40 in the semi-final, and now we're down to the top 10. Myself, Andy Maddock, and alongside me, Eric Holmer, Olympic finalist from Tokyo, joins me again. So thank you for joining me.
Thanks, good to be here.
And here's the standing so far in the World Cup after 1 race. And of course, Peter Kauser, the winner last weekend. But the big name, or the big surprise, Giovanni De Gennaro, not into the final here. Here is our start list.
Yeah, like you were saying, Giovanni there, he picked up an early touch and had some troubles on the water, so we're missing him, and the home nation Poland was a bit unlucky with Michał Pasit finishing 11th, 100th of a second out of the final. So but we've got 3 French and 3 Czech, makes for a exciting final.
It certainly will, and we know one thing's for sure, it will be tight racing. That's what we've seen so far on this course. And crowd just getting ready. Unfortunately, no Polish interest in this men's kayak final, but it won't dampen the experience here. First of our competitors on the start, and it is the men's kayak paddler of Malo Kemenur, of France, a junior world championship medalist and 16th last weekend in Prague, now into the final. This is the run that counts.
Yeah, you can tell he's focused. He wants this. He's had a good season so far. Like you said, in Prague last weekend. He was also in the final at the European Champs earlier this spring, and yeah, he's off to a very good start. Tight lines, running the boat nicely.
Very tight on the upstream gate 8. Same course, obviously, to the women's kayak competition. And we'll have the men's canoe and the women's canoe tomorrow. Planet Canoe, you can follow that live from 9 o'clock in the semi-finals, but that's very slick on 11.
Definitely, and his first split time there, we don't have any point of reference now, but I recall there was a competitive split from the semi-final earlier here. So he's off to a very good start, and he's looking good also until this point.
So now into 16-17. This is a critical move. It's drop into the hole, get the weight on the front, and keep the boat running. Then tight in, tight out of 17 is the name of the game.
Let's see how he handles this tight stagger here. We saw a lot of touches in the semi-final here, but he's done that all right. A bit having to put the handbrake on, but nice there, just to finish. This is a good run from Malo.
It is indeed. 83 seconds was the fastest raw time in the semis. 87.03. It's a clean run, and well, it is going to be in the mix because, you know, whilst we might have had a quicker time in the semis, it is all about delivery in this final.
That is true. We saw in the K1 women category just now that they did improve in the final indeed. And well, the winner Jessica Falk put down an amazing run, so I think we can expect some of the kayak men's to go faster here in the final, but that is still a very good run from Malo Kemenur.
So 87.03 is the time to chase early on in this men's kayak final. And well, here is Vit Prindis, the reigning World Cup champion of 2021, and surely one of the favourites for today.
Definitely, Prindis is one of those guys that could put down an amazing run here. Last time we had a World Cup final here, he was indeed one of the absolutely fastest, but had some touches pushing him down. We haven't seen the best of him, I guess, this year as of yet, but maybe now he will show us some of the Prindis magic.
Well, he was only 14th at his home course last weekend in Prague, and he'll be looking to make it up. Well, he's already gone better. He's in the final. And now, yeah, can we see some of that Prindis magic? When he's on fire, then he is unstoppable.
Definitely, a bit down here. He looks quite composed, maybe not quite taking it on as much as Malo Kemenur yet, but this was very nice now, running the boat really nicely with loads of speed. Surely he made up some time there.
Outstanding on 11. Now he's motoring down towards the upstream gate 14. And again, safely, doesn't take too many risks on that move.
Yeah, he was very tight on that gate in the semi-final. Looks like maybe he's looking really good here. Not unnecessarily risk, and yeah, he's up on the split. This is a very good run coming together.
Yeah, so he's found the time. Now he can find more time on this bottom section. Surely that is going to pick up some more time. He's tight in 22. He is going to be surely taking the race lead and setting the new bar. 83 was the fastest time in the semis, 84.94.
Yes.
And, well, he knows it. He's put one down.
Definitely. That will definitely put the pressure on the rest of the guys to come now. It's quite, the speakers are quite loud here, so surely they've heard the time and they know what we need to beat now.
I'd never noticed that technique he uses where he slides his hand along his paddle to get a little bit more leverage on the exits of those sweep upstreams. 17.22, it worked for him.
Definitely, some of the kayaks out there tend to use that technique, as you say, to just get that leverage. Next up, Marcelo Beda, vice world champion from last year. He went really early on in the semifinal, so he will have had some extra rest now for the final and enough time to watch the others do some analysis.
And here he goes for Italy, Marcelo Beda. We know he's quick. Can he deliver it now when it matters? Giovanni De Gennaro, his compatriot, who was silver medalist last week, didn't make it through into the final. And a 2-second penalty on gate 5 is an early disadvantage.
Definitely, and now he's trying to cut the line to make up for that. He's actually having a faster raw time than Prindis until the split, but now he drops slow into the upstream, and it's all starting to go a little bit wrong here.
Yeah, there is a review on gate 7, no penalty showing at the moment as he comes down towards the upstream gate 14, the left-hand upstream, and nicely in and out. But 15, 16, 17, this is the critical move, and this stands between him and the next split time, where we'll get an indication of just how much time he lost on gate 11.
A little bit sticky maybe, and considering his mistake there in the middle section, he's actually not bad on the split at all. That would still put him in a good place in the semi-final we saw earlier. He's, yeah.
So 3.3, the deficit, that includes a 2-second penalty. Now coming down to cross the finish line, 89.23 into 3rd place. So it is still Vit Brindis leading for the Czech Republic ahead of Marlo Kemeneur of France and then Marcelo Beda of Italy. But there is our race leader. And, well, he must be feeling he's done enough for a podium.
Yeah, potentially. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's a very good run, but yeah, we saw the girls go a lot faster, and there's some guys left to come that could. I think he's excited to see what the others will do.
7 boats still to go in this men's kayak final. So Vit Brindis leading the way, 84.94. That is the time that everybody's chasing in this men's kayak final.
Next up, Matan Dugo. He was actually the only one to make it into this final with a touch. That shows some real good speed in the boat, and yeah, he's been looking good so far this season.
Nathan Dugoud of Switzerland now launches his campaign. Bronze medalist from last weekend in Prague. How good would it be? Back-to-back medals. Well, he's got to get down this 23-gate course clean, that is for sure. And he's got to find some of that pace that he found in the semi-final.
Oh, really offline there. He manages to survive those mistakes, but losing a lot of time.
Yeah, so it's a good example. He's gone off really hard and he's taken some risks, and at the moment they're not paying off for him. 1.5 seconds the deficit. Now, can he just settle into the run? Can he find some of that pace that he found in the semi-final?
We saw that Prindis actually was down on Malo-Communero on the first split, so we know that the first split is not the most competitive maybe, and the Go is quite a bit down on it, so he has some job to do here if he wants to be up in the mix and the top of his final, but now it's all going wrong for him here, dropping low into upstream.
Significantly low in 17, and that's hard work. He's had to really graft his way back into 17. 4.27 the deficit now. He's good through the offset sequence, but I think it's too little too late to challenge for the top spot. He's tidy on 22, 1 gate to go. Martin Duguid, bronze medalist from Prague last weekend, goes for the finish line and crosses the line in 4th place, 90.00. It's a good run, but he was probably just giving it too much at the top.
Yeah, I thought he actually looked quite composed off the start, but then one mistake and then it's easy that it knocks on and hard to find the rhythm again, and we could see that. Out of the 6 remaining athletes now, we actually have 5 of them being world or Olympic champions, so it's definitely a final with big names here.
Well, you're right, and the one person that isn't is a junior world champion,
Yeah.
and it's kind of nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Definitely.
Boris Neveu sets off for France, the world champion of 2021 and 2014. Hugely consistent athlete. What can he do here in Krakow? Always looks very composed, almost very leisurely, but don't be deceived, he is quick.
You're very right. Boris is extremely precise in his paddling, and we see here he's really running these lines super tight here, but still managing to keep the boat moving, and he's up on the split here.
Yeah, up by quite a margin, 0.70, but sticky on the run into 11. He does get the upstream pretty nicely. There is and a 2-second penalty given on the upstream gate 3. So suddenly, it's not looking quite as rosy as he comes into 14.
It's going to be hard to pick that up, but we have seen stranger things happen before in this sport, and he keeps tracking this run down.
Boris Neveu now coming into 17. That's very nicely done, very tight, and gets the exit now on the split time, 3.35 the deficit. Most of that is the touch given on gate 3.
He really cut the lines there in the downs as well. See where.
Well, at the moment, 84.94 is the time to beat. It's well outside of that. Into 3rd place for Boris Neveu of France. Still a few video reviews pending, but only the 1 penalty on gate 3 showing at the moment. So Vit Prindis still leading for the Czech Republic ahead of Malo-Communero, and then provisionally Boris Neveu in 3rd place.
Yeah, surely Prindis must be feeling good, sitting there in top position with a really good run. And yeah, we've seen the last few athletes here having some mistakes on the course, so we'll see how far that takes him.
Well, we're at the halfway point in this men's kayak final, and it is Vit Prindis leading the way in the clubhouse, so to speak, with 5 to go.
expecting representing the Czech Republic, Ondřej Tunka.
Well, Vit Prindis, you must be pretty comfortable with where you're at the moment, with that time that you put down there.
Yeah, but I'm mostly happy. I'm mainly happy with my run, with the run I performed. I was hoping for a clean run. I pushed my time under 85, which is quite good, but it's not a super time. It's not the fastest time of the day. But I'm happy with my run. It was a solid run, and now I can enjoy last guys who are on the top.
Missed the podium last week, of course, in Prague. Would be nice to get back on there this week.
Of course, of course. Last week in Prague, it was really tough for me for more aspects, not just on the water, but also out of the water. So I was trying to just push it away, relax more here, more train, and be more focused on the racing. I hope it pay off. Actually, it pay off. And yeah, I'm happy with today's racing.
All right, let's see how it goes for the last 5 paddlers. Good luck, Vit.
Thanks.
Well, there we go. Our race leader. 5 to go, and as you were saying, Eric, the 5 still to come. Pretty much a who's who of canoe slalom. Vit Prindis there, though, leading ahead of Canoe-Kayak of France and now Vader of Italy. So Boris Naveau has been given a 50-second penalty. That was the reason for my hesitation. I was just checking in on that. And 50-second penalty going on gate 20.
Yes,
So
he did cut the line in that stagger very fine. It's yeah, small margin.
that's the nature of the sport. It can be cruel, but you've got to take those chances. You've got to find those lines in order to go for the podium. Here is Ondřej Tunka of the Czech Republic, the world champion of 2017 in Pau in France. That's where he won that. And great to see him back in the Czech team. And it's not an easy team to fight your way into.
No, definitely. I think arguably you'd say the Czech K1 men team is the strongest K1 men team on the circuit. And yeah, Tunka is back there and he's paddling really well so far this season. Let's see what he can do here in the final.
So the top section, critical here to keep running through 5, 6 and 7. And he's absolutely cutting the lines there. The whole head and part of the boat must go through the gate. And half a second down on the split. Well, that's okay at this stage.
Definitely, but we saw that Prindis seemed to mainly make up time at the bottom, and here Tunka is also dropping low into the upstream, so it's going to be a tough job now to make up that time. But if anyone can do it, maybe it's Tunka.
Yeah, he's a very strong paddler, but yes, he missed the curl on the downstream gate 10 to 11 and had to paddle around and back up the eddy. So Tunka now coming into 16. So review on gate 10 and 14. No penalties though showing at the moment, and the split time though shows 3.6 seconds down, and most of that was in gate 11.
Yeah, I'd say so. There was a lot of time there and hard to make that much time up at the bottom of his course. He's done nothing wrong here in the last gates, but it's just a little bit too much to ask for. Let's see where he can squeeze in.
Well, he stops the clock, 88.98 into 3rd place provisionally. There is still a review going on gate 10 and 14, but no penalties showing at the moment. So it is still Vit Prindis leading the way for the Czech Republic, the World Cup overall series champion of last year. Marlo Kimonel holding on to 2nd for France. And Ondřej Tunka here for the Czech Republic goes into the 3rd place position. So 4 boats to go in this men's kayak final. The Czech Republic leading the way.
Next up, we have a young Titan Castruc from France. He's still a junior, and yeah, this is his first senior final. Let's see how he can handle the pressure. He definitely has the skills, and we'll see how he tackles it.
Racing without fear. Here he is, the junior world champion of 2021. Titouan Kastrick of France, and still a junior in the 2022 season. His focus now is on delivering this run. And he's probably never been under this kind of pressure, but sometimes with nothing to lose, everything to gain, that can just be a massive opportunity.
Definitely, and he looks sharp off the start here, not overdoing anything. Yeah, very nice crew here, keeping a lot of boat speed on both tight lines.
Yes, he was tight, but not having to stretch too much, so he keeps the boat running very well indeed.
And he's up.
0.6 up. Oh, this is sensational. This is what he was doing in the semi-final, and well, he recovered that well. 10 to 11. He rescued that and turned it into a fast move.
Definitely, he pulled it off really nicely. It was a risky move, but he pulled it off.
So there is a review on gate 9, but no penalty showing at the moment in this men's kayak final. Big names still to come. All of them have Olympic medals, those still to come, the 3 boats still to come. And, well, what can he do? He's very good on 17 as well.
Definitely. Oh, it's going to be tight.
So it's nip and tuck here as we come down this bottom section of the course. Prindish against Kastrick for top spot in this men's kayak final. There's nothing to choose between them. 84.94 the time to beat. Kastrick goes for gold here and just outside into second place. Titouan Kastrick of France, well done. That is a guaranteed top 5 performance. But what will it be in the end reckoning? There is our race leader still. Prindish gets to breathe again.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure he was holding his breath where that was tight. It was long ago since we saw a junior performing that well on senior level in K1 men category.
But as we speak, Titouan Kastrick has been given a 50-second penalty on gate 9. So we're watching gate 9 now. So the judges will be looking to see whether the whole head and part of the boat are through the gate, and obviously that is the decision. He certainly left it to the judges, and it's not gone his way this time, and that drops him down to 6th place and moves Andre Tuka back up into 3rd place for now. 3 boats to go.
Yeah, definitely gutting for him with that 50, but he'll be remembering his speed from this race and being up there against the best.
Well, there he is, and unfortunately there's a 50-second penalty confirmed for the junior world champion, but a name to watch for the future for sure. 3 boats to go in this men's kayak final, live from Krakow in Poland. Here is our next starter, Joe Clark of Great Britain. 4th at the Europeans this season, but of course Olympic champion from 2016. Didn't go to Tokyo. And he was a winner in the World Cup on this course in 2018.
Definitely. So let's see if he can make it back-to-back. He's looking sharp here at the start, definitely using his power as well. And yeah, looks good so far.
So in and out tight of the upstream gate 8.
Yes.
And 1.5 seconds nearly the advantage on the top section. Clark is on fire, stretching though to gate 11.
Yeah, there's that advantage.
I don't think he's lost too much time on 11. He really had to work hard for it, though. It's whether the energy has been taken there when it could have been used somewhere else.
I think you're right. We'll see in the next split what it looks like. He's definitely not letting go of this run, attacking every gate here.
So he's got the rhythm now. Critical move here. 16, got to be on the front of the boat. Then,
that was faster.
Whips it round on 17 to get the exit, and he is up by only a very small margin on our race leader.
A nerve-wracking wait for leader, current leader with Prindish here, watching the last guys being really close on his leading time. We'll see.
Chasing it down, it's a sprint finish. 84.94 the time to beat. The race time is under threat, but it's outside of that. But Joe Clark goes into 2nd place for Great Britain. And Vit Prindish leading ahead of Joe Clark, and then Marlo Kemener. And I should just say there is an asterisk on Joe Clark's result at the moment. but that's fairly routine, I think, in terms of just reviewing those things. No penalties showing at the moment. Vit Prindish still leading the race with 2 to go.
Yeah, it's definitely, we'll see here if we saw an 83 by Preškevek in the semi-final, if anyone can touch that time himself or remaining, Peter Kauser, next one to go.
Well, it is now confirmed. So Joe Clark, 85.10, confirmed clean run into second place. But it's still 84.94 is the time to beat for the Czech Republic. Vit Prindish, the reigning World Cup Series champion. Perfect conditions for racing here. No wind, holes absolutely still. Not too hot. It's supposed to be very hot tomorrow, 32 degrees. But here is Peter Kauser of Slovenia, the winner of the first World Cup of the 2022 season. And what can he do? We've seen Jessica Fox take back-to-back wins. Can Peter Kauser repeat that here in this men's kayak competition as he gets his final underway?
Yeah, I'm sure he's hungry for it. The next World Cup race is at his home course in Slovenia in Tacen. So with a win from Prague, and the final here, he looks good for the total World Cup. And he's really sharp here, but having to stretch for the down gate, it's really cutting the line.
Well, he's really cutting the line on the upstream gate 8 as well, but he's finding the time. 0.95 is the advantage, but there is a review on gate 6 at the moment. No penalty showing at this point.
Some beautiful art of technique over the stopper there, using the edge of the boat to lean over the whole stopper and almost bounce into the upstream.
So he's still keeping it tidy. Still a review going on gate 6, but let's focus on this middle section of the course through 16 and 17, because this is where the race could be won and lost. Not the tidiest of moves through there, but I think he's still going to be competitive on the split.
Definitely, you're right. He got a bit held there, and now it's again down to the last few gates to see. Looks like he had to maybe wait the tiniest bit there. And Prindish was very good on these last gates. It's going to be tight.
Outstanding on 22. So the winner of last weekend, Peter Kauser of Slovenia, goes just outside. Wow, 8/100ths of a second. And look at the time, just 0.16 of a second separates first and third at the moment. Well done, Peter. You are, I have to say, provisionally still in second place at the moment. Still a review incomplete. But with 1 to go, oh, in fact, here is the review. And it's gate 6, the one he's just approaching now. And the judge is looking to determine if the whole head and part of the boat are through. There's our video judges. And they'll be looking at it from, not just from the angle that we could see, but a number of angles to give the final decision. And it is a 50-second penalty that has been awarded. So the winner of last weekend's race is now down in 7th place. And here it is. He certainly left it to the judges, and they have awarded a 50-second penalty.
Yeah, such a shame on a very nice run. Was very tight, very hard to see from our video, but as you say, the judges have many angles, and yeah, still some beautiful paddling to watch in this final, and now it's down to check or check for the win.
You're right. So, with 1 boat to go, Vit Prindish leads for the Czech Republic ahead of Joe Clark of Great Britain and Marlo Kemeneur of France. Our last boat to start in this men's kayak final. He's the reigning Olympic champion. He's a 2-time world champion. He's a 5-time European champion. He's a World Cup Series winner. Well, he's won everything in this sport. Jiri Preškevek is on course for the Czech Republic.
Yeah, and he's definitely doing it his own style. This first gate already, we saw the first upstream really tight, and he's, yeah, he looks fast. He was almost 1 second faster than our current leader in his semi-final run, and it's even in the first split here.
Well, there's nothing to choose between them. A little bit tighter than he would have liked on 11, but this is a very quick run time coming together from Priskovic of the Czech Republic. Disappointed to be outside the medals on his home course last weekend in Prague. That said, it was fourth. By his standards, that's disappointing, but I think it was still showing the caliber of performance that he regularly puts in.
Yeah, definitely. Jiri has just, the last few seasons, seemed to have a gear that no one else has a bit. But right now he's struggling. Yeah, he's just fraction of a 800th of a second down on the split. Oh, but he's really attacking these downs now. It's going to be, again, nothing in between them, I think.
How exciting is this? 84.94 to take the win here. That's the time he's got to be inside. He's outside of that and into third place. Wow, what a race we've had. And, well, that means Vit Prindiš of the Czech Republic there is our race winner. And, well, what a smile on his face. Joe Clark for Great Britain goes in silver medal position. And Jiri Priskovic there in shot. Has to settle for the bronze. Third this weekend, fourth last weekend. And, well, Czech 1-3.
Yeah, again, we see the Czech K1-man team, all three in the final and two of them on the podium. It's just outstanding.
Well, that was exciting. There was nothing to choose between them at the halfway or the early split. And then even on the second split, just 8/100ths of a second. And in the end, Jiri Priskovic couldn't quite find it together on the bottom part of the course and had to settle for third place.
Well, Vit, it was a long wait, and there were some guys who were very close to you, but you got the gold.
Yeah, it was really tight racing. It was nice to watch. I really enjoyed watching of the guys. They perform really super fast runs. Sometimes I was almost hoping that they are faster than me, but I think that I had quite nice bottom, quite fast bottom. And yeah, I'm super happy that I'm on the top of the podium this weekend.
And after last weekend, with the difficulties you had, to be back winning and to show that you can bounce back after a tough weekend.
Definitely. It's the best possible way how to handle what happened last week. I mean, and now it shows me that I'm on a good way, on a good way to world champs, because I'm kind of in training mood. So I'm happy that I can also perform my runs under the pressure, under the circumstances that I'm a little bit not in the best feeling, but I'm super happy with racing, because I have to say that Krakow is not my favorite course because it's really physical, and if you look at me, I'm not a physical guy, so it's quite obvious.
Well, maybe it's now going to become your favorite course. Congratulations, Vit. Great to see you on top of the podium again.
Thank you very much.
Well, there we have it, and here are the results. Confirmation, Vit Prindiš takes the win here in the second World Cup of the season. Joe Clark for Great Britain takes the silver. Jiri Priskovic takes bronze for the Czech Republic. And, well, some strong performances throughout and a really tight battle we've seen. And your reflections from the final, Eric?
Yeah, it was we saw some really good runs early on, and the other guys trying to chase that, and some mistakes coming into play. Both Peter Kausler having a really fast run, but a 50, Tito Ankastrick, same thing for him, and yeah, small margins out there.
And of course, we're going to have the semi-finals and finals of the women's canoe and the men's canoe tomorrow. So you can follow that live at Planet Canoe, 9 o'clock Central European time. And of course, the Extreme Kayak starts at 4:30. Head-to-head racing, Central European time tomorrow. So here we have the standings after the second race of the World Cup Series. Peter Kauser still holds on to the lead ahead of Yuri Priskovic and Martin Dugood. That's the top three going into Tartan next weekend in Slovenia. But of course, that concludes the racing here in Krakow today. But we will be back in action with the women's canoe and the men's canoe semi-finals tomorrow from 9 o'clock Central European time. A big thank you to Eric for joining me in the booth. And from me, Andy Maddock, it's bye for now.
Thanks.
Raz, 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 dwa, raz, dwa, raz, dwa.